Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on? Some days, Chip, I feel like I need a cup of tequila.
I
What
just hit
is
up
up?
Ohm. He has a cup of tequila. Most
I
people do
think
a
Ohm
shot.
has. Most people do a shot, but Ohm's rolling deep with a big cup of tequila. Man, XRP. The one thing that we know about it, it has the potential to lead the entire global economy, moving money on such a great scale. All that only if the SEC could do what's right and just step out of the way. But we know that probably isn't going to happen in the short term. In the long term, however, it's all good.
Yeah, they'll get bulldozed out of the way. I'm just excited about a
Bulldo-
giant loss. Or we have also conversation tonight about, I've been hearing a lot of swirling. Jeff, you and I have been hearing it, the rumors about a settlement. Will there be a settlement? We'll dig in. You ready to go?
I want a big steak.
That too. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome, everybody, to On the Chain. This is Chip here with
welcome.
Jeff. We are together, and sometimes one of us will be flying the plane solo, and it's always weird because you got to do all the controls and buttons and everything. It's very taxing. It's always better when you got a co-pilot to be able to handle everything. If it's your first time here, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button, hit that like, and bell notifier. That way you get notified anytime we go live. We talk about anything SEC, crypto related, all the players in the XRP community, and Bitcoin and
And
ETH and
we'll wait.
Solana, all of it, Jeff.
We'll wait. Yeah, we're
We
just
do it
going to wait.
all.
Everyone
We
hit
do it
the
all.
subscribe and the thumbs up. We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll sit here and wait. We got nothing else to do. What the hell? Let's do it. Let's
That's
do it.
it.
You guys
Let's
do
just
it.
wait.
Drop the city and the country where you guys are coming in from. Drop it. Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. And
It's hot.
the XLS 20 delayed.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we're going to get into that too. That's an interesting scenario, Jeff. We're going to have to mini workshop that here on the chain. But before we get there, before we go there,
Bosnia.
I think what we ought to do first is we probably all should hit this all-important John Deaton thread here because it's a good
Let's
one.
do that. That's a good one. And Ohm's in Sarajevo.
Sarajevo? Well,
Huh?
now that cup of tequila starts to make a little more sense. Maybe, I don't know. Do you guys have big drinkers over there or what? Because here, a cup of tequila will knock you off for 2 days. It's happened to me before my early
That'd be
20s.
That'd be like a big cup.
I was drinking tequila out of the bottle, passed out for like 24, 23 hours. So it happens. It'll have that.
And
It's like a cup.
Jeff's
So
coming in from Vegas.
Vegas. What happens in Vegas is awesome. No, it stays in Vegas. We got LA in here as well. Jeffrey Hennessy from Los
Sure.
Angeles. Oh, that's Vegas. What am I talking
That's
about?
Las Vegas.
I wanted it to be Los Angeles. It's Vegas, though.
Man, Uzi from Monaco. Morocco.
What's going on with our reading skills tonight, Jeff? It's not working.
I just learned.
It's just it's horrible. Love you, brothers. Appreciate that. Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate Heffy's in the house. Settlement only if clarity. Jeff, get those boxes out of your closet.
We need
Get
those
them ready,
boxes
Jeff.
of clarity. We're gonna start getting them ready. Let's get them ready.
Let's play guess what Chip is drinking tonight. Look at this right here. What does it look like? What does it look like I'm drinking right there?
Looks like apple juice.
It's a good guess, but it's wrong. It would be wrong. Come on,
Alcoholic
Jeff.
or non-alcoholic?
It is non-alcoholic.
Oh, that's that kombucha.
It is kombucha. Ding, 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 ding for the win, Jeff.
What do I win?
Guess the flavor. That's the next one. It's yellow. No, it's not rum flavored. No, it's not rum flavored. No.
All right.
It is.
What is this? 100% dependent on whether the SEC gov must turn over the Hinman speech drafts, edits, emails, and comments thereof.
Yeah, but he's replying to JV's course. He was replying to this tweet here. So this is kind of like what it's based on, which I will open up here. And Brian Brown, Gary Gensler resigned. That's the new thing to do, Jeff. If you're really cool in the XRP community, you will put a Gary Gensler resign because it's about it's about as successful as filling out those online petitions. And about
but imagine if everybody did it, though, it'd be really cool.
I don't know. I mean, does Gary Gensler even know? If Gary Gensler doesn't see it, who cares, right? The tree falls in the woods. Does anyone hear it, Jeff? Does anybody care? I get what you're saying. I'm just not cool enough to do it because JV
wait,
is way cool.
JV did it also.
He's Gary Gensler resign. He's Gary Gensler resign. And it's funny because, you have all those Ethereum heads that do the .eth, the .eth, .eth. So this is like a better version of
GGR.
So Brian Brown
roll out a token, the GGR token. Gary Gensler resign.
Yeah, and it'll be a security, and we'll put him in jail. So I've been patiently waiting for a settlement that may not come for Ripple, but 90% plus of these cases settle. It's a racket. It's political. It's sickening. This may go to summary judgment, but I'm still feeling settlement. The chess pieces are moving into place. JV said, of course, it's going to summary judgment. There's no kind of way the SEC can settle that would allow them to continue to rain terror on the crypto space. I have to agree with that. Even so, are they going to say that today's XRP is not a security? So John Deaton said, yeah, I've maintained for more than a year that settlement is 100% dependent on whether the SEC must turn over the Hinman speech, drafts, edits, emails, and comments thereof.
And that could be where the settlement comes from. They still might not want to turn them over, and therefore they'll go to settlement.
Maybe. Other than having to produce the emails and drafts, another event that could facilitate a settlement is if the SEC receives a disfavorable decision in the library case.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Right?
If that ever gets to a judgment.
Well, that will be a summary. Yeah, I think that's going to summary judgment.
It's been going on forever.
Sooner. Well, actually, it's happened faster than the. I think that's when it's happening.
Hasn't been going on for like 5 years, 3 years.
Well, they've been hassling them, I should say, for a number of years. But the actual
hustling sounds better. They've been hustling.
No, I've been hassling. I've become more convinced, and Deaton went on to say, I've been more convinced that there will be no settlement unless one or both of those things happen. First of all, my opinion regarding settlement is no better or more relevant than anyone else's opinion. You know what? And I love that. That's the greatest thing about it. Everyone in the chat has probably their own opinion. You and I have an opinion about it. Why would the SEC settle at this point? They're going to try to delay and keep going. To go all this way and then say, well, how about a settlement? We'll fine you for those 2013 sales, but are they going to come out and say, because they destroy their whole case, Jeff? Their pillars of enforcement come down.
They're coming down. They're coming down fast. But here's an interesting thought. So November comes around. We see a complete changeover of both the House and the Senate. Puts more pressure onto the SEC. And therefore, the SEC is now pressured into either, stepping away from this or to settlement.
That is an interesting take.
Maybe that's the dynamic, because you're right. If the status quo continues, I can't imagine that the SEC at this point would settle. They're so stubborn and hard-headed on one path of enforcement. I don't know how they could. But Deaton brings up another, interesting point there with library, that depending on the outcome of the judgment of library, that could also be interesting.
Yeah, it surely could. Let's go back into this. So I like that, though. And this is true. Like, it's just an opinion. A lot of times people will hammer us for our opinions. Look, we're just two guys talking about crypto and having fun, having some pizza and learning about Cuba. That's pretty much all we're doing, Jeff. Just having a little bit of fun. So he says the fact that I'm amicus counsel places me in no better position to speculate than anyone else. That's what I love about John Deaton. He's such a great and amazing human being that he's like, hey, yeah, I'm the guy that behind the amicus. Yeah, there's 72,000 plus that I'm representing, but look, just my opinion. Based on what I'm looking at, my eyes, that's what I love, is like, this is the kind of public discord we want to have, Jeff. He goes, I'm just sharing my observations because I'm receiving many emails and DMs asking. So, hey, what's going on, John? What are we doing?
It's a solid opinion. So how do you continue?
So then he said on January 1st, 2021, only 9 days after the Ripple case was filed, I filed the writ of mandamus and stated in the petition that the lawsuit versus Ripple alleging all XRP are illegal securities made no sense unless it was filed for one of the following reasons. And here are the following reasons. 1, the lawsuit was personal in a form of political revenge from Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2, the lawsuit was a weapon to slow adoption and filed for personal gain in order for a select few to benefit financially. Or 3, the lawsuit was filed with such overbroad and sweeping allegations, i.e. claiming secondary market XRP traded independent of Ripple, are also securities as a form of regulation by enforcement with the intent of coming after all of crypto, a jurisdictional land grab by the SEC.
That's an interesting one too. I'm kind of leaning on 1 and 3.
Yeah, so 1 being the lawsuit was personal in a form of political revenge. Where is the political revenge, though? That's the part that I'm not. I don't know.
So well, yeah. So going after Ripple specifically, going after Library, not so sure, but going after Ripple, because that's what we're referencing. The political revenge is potentially, something happened behind the scenes that we're not privy to, that we're not aware of, to where. And we've seen how, we see the political leaning of Ripple. We know how they, talk a lot about the green agenda and all of that. But something else might have happened behind the scenes, especially since, and forget about that part of it, but consider the fact they're taking on Swift. And, I think there's a lot of lobby power behind Swift, and how they came out pretty strong there. And now you have to slow them down. So political revenge and slowing them down, I think it was really key. But here it says the lawsuit was a weapon to slow adoption, filed for personal gain. I think it's more of I don't know if political revenge is accurate, but I think it's political in order to slow down adoption of the entity, of what their mission statement was. And then number 3, go into it that it was overbroad with sweeping allegations. So it is a 1, 2, 3 punch. I don't know if it's exact political revenge as much as there was politics wrapped into it because of what they were doing. And what we're seeing is that regardless, as we saw, with Clayton, obviously he was there as under a Republican administration, Gensler under a Democrat administration, but both of them kind of leaning in the same direction, for purposeful outcome, which is slowing adoption and favoring the old brick and mortar in order to let them get prepared, get ready. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff that could be happening with
a lot of speculation, and the part that got us too, and we go back to when we first looked at the complaint. But if you look at this right here, this is so outlandish. The claim that all the secondary market XRP which traded independent of Ripple, were securities. And I remember in one of those hearings, the judge brought it up and said, "Wait a minute, are you alleging that all secondary?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they got into the Title V and all that. You remember that whole conversation, which was there. So that jurisdictional land grab does seem to kind of have a little bit of weight behind it. Gary Gensler, and speaking of Gary Gensler, we got Mark Phillips here. Deaton is your hero. He's all of our hero, man. It's not just your hero. But Mark Phillips says, "You remember those seagulls in Finding Nemo? Mine. Remember that? That's all I said. That's Gensler's view of the world. Mine. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate, Mark. I would say that's pretty spot on.
But I like how Mark started out. He said, "Remember this.
Remember this."
And that was it. just in the flow of conversation. Remember this.
I'm remembering that.
What are we remembering? Then it kind of went down. Hey, you know what's funny? As we've been talking about this, scroll up a little bit in the tweets here.
Yeah.
Going up to the top. Yeah. Not that right there. Stop there. Sorry, not the top. Where it says writ of mandamus.
Yeah.
It's one down. Just scroll a little bit.
Oh,
no, the other way. Scroll up.
Gosh,
there you go. So you missed it. Come on now. So if you get to the writ of mandamus.
Where is the writ?
Down.
Let me just do this.
Down one tweet.
Is it
down right below that one? It's right there. Down one. There it is, right there. The bottom one. So if you look at the writ of mandamus, how cool would that be as the title of a movie? Would you go see that? I'm going to go see the writ of mandamus. It'd be a kick-ass movie. And you see mandamus, he'd be, it would be one of those movies. The guy Mandamus would be, he'd be a sword carrier. It would be like, it'd be the writ of Mandamus.
Yeah, and you know who'd be
That'd
that
be cool as
starring
hell.
that title role? John E. Deaton is Mandamus
Mandamus.
in the writ of
The
Mandamus.
writ of Mandamus.
It was a day like any other day. Yeah, you know that there's like those trailers. You know, it's ridiculous. The writ of Mandamus with John E. Deaton. John E. Deaton is Mandamus in the writ of Mandamus. Oh, jeez.
But what a kick-ass title for a movie, though.
It is, really. I like it. I would like whatever movie's made, I would want John Deaton just to play himself. Like all kind of like really heavyweight actors, but John Deaton plays John Deaton. Like how cool would that be?
We're going to write a movie. We're going to write a movie of this whole Ripple case. That'd be kick-ass.
It would be good, but that's not the movie Kick-Ass. Just it would be a kick-ass movie, you know.
There was a movie Kick-Ass.
Yeah, there was a movie. So Gary Gensler and the SEC, and this is back to Deaton, are not going to settle until the political risks outweigh the political benefits. A lot of ponder there. Right now, I think Gensler believes that he doesn't have much to lose by not settling. Let's break this down, Jeff. Like he has everything to lose because if it goes to a summary judgment and it doesn't fare well, he basically will lose. Those pillars of enforcement that he loves to talk about will come tumbling down, just like Rome fell.
Oh, it won't even be left with one pillar.
He won't have even a half. He'll have a half broken pillar, and it won't be doing much enforcement. I mean, it'll be destroyed, essentially. So,
like Samson.
There you go. Johnny Deaton is Samson. There you go. So. In fact, the SEC were to win summary judgment in both the library and Ripple cases, it would provide Gensler the validation that most tokens are securities and justifications they must be regulated by the SEC. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, but how does he win on both of those? I mean, that's going to be a tough one. They have to prove it, you know. I mean, what have they proved? Anything? They keep falling on their sword every single time. It's like, wait a minute. No, I said this. Did I say that? You know that they say, Jeff, is when you lie, when you tell the truth, it's always easy to remember. But when you little white lies here and there, it's really difficult to keep it straight.
You can't keep up with them.
Now, last call, that poor attorney, there's somebody for like, okay, we're not going to risk our careers. Go ahead. Let's get Mikey. Mikey won't do it. Sure. And then they throw that attorney at it, and it wasn't really her fault, but they kind of handed her a grenade and said, good luck. She's holding a grenade.
Have fun with it.
Enjoy. So in fact, the SEC, so right now the political environment seems to favor the CFTC as the regulator of choice for crypto. Agreed. POTUS, president of the U.S. Executive order gave limited input or jurisdiction to the SEC. First of all, that's meaningless. Everything is meaningless because it's like we're going to ban Bitcoin. It's like, okay, well, good. Go back, go to Congress, draft your bill and then pass it if you're going to ban Bitcoin. What's the
White House? The White House has got, they've got a target right now. They're trying to, as they're trying to focus on, especially in California. Could you imagine if California is passing laws to ban gas-powered vehicles by 2035? What are they going to do with mining Bitcoin?
I thought you were going to say if California was passing gas. It almost came. You were a couple words in front of that. But the outlawed this is the best thing. So you had Granholm, who's the energy secretary or something like that. She came out and said that California is the model. And the model is that the grid is overtaxed, and now they don't want to, they're outlawing cars in 2035, and yet you're not supposed to, 3 days later, you're not supposed to charge your car. So I don't know if you saw that photo that went viral.
That was awesome.
It was a Tesla carrying a generator on the back of it. It's like a little trailer, like a little shelf in the back of it. Another one had that generator in the driveway. So okay.
Man, electric vehicles, they're trying to, pick up some steam, but until you can charge your vehicle instantly, meaning the amount of time it takes you to pump gas is the amount of time it takes you to charge your vehicle. You're not going to see mass adoption of electric cars until then.
No,
I don't care how many times they try to force you. Plus, what's going to happen? That's a whole another conversation. I'm going to talk about lithium mining.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem is that when you start talking about environment, let's be conscious of all environment. Yeah, let's, you always want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, this is good. Yeah, if you look at lithium mining, if you look at how they dispose of these batteries, then they have a short life cycle. What happens to all these batteries? Has anybody thought about that? I mean, so there's to say that
They're,
it's all
they're just
peaches
going
and
to
creams.
stick them in the ground.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Let somebody else. Let a future generation worry about it, Jeff. So it
Well,
says
maybe we can figure out a
Republicans.
way to mine crypto with them.
There you go. Republicans in the Financial Services Committee and Senate favor the CFTC, and Senator Lummis and Senator Gillibrand bill favors the CFTC because, and that makes a lot of sense because they're not securities, so that would be the right regulatory body. And Deaton went on to say if Gensler were to get a victory in the library case and the Ripple case, he might be able to swing political sentiment towards the SEC. I'm going to go with the big negatives on that. No way in hell. He could say two federal judges agree these tokens are securities.
But do you think he's going to get a victory? And that's a big one,
No.
too. Is he going to get a victory on library? And the thing is, he would need if he got a victory on the Ripple case, obviously that's a massive referendum for him. He would be stoked, because everything that he said so far with his pillars of enforcement would then be proven true. But I don't know how does a case all of a sudden start falling in towards the SEC when up until this point it's been falling against the SEC every step of the way. They've been shown to be completely incompetent.
Well, Jeff, I mean, a lot of this, you can blame Gensler all you want, but really the real, I guess the real blame really goes to Congress. Congress has had all this time. Everybody's authoring bills. Nobody wants to pass a bill. And when Congress does pass a bill, it's what, Deaton referred to earlier in this, it's so broad that it's open to interpretation. If we have to go back to the 1933-34 exchange, we have to go back to a 47 Howey test. That's not a good sign. It's already not a good sign. And all they have to do is pass a little bit of legislation, but everything is always way more important than that. And Gensler said, hey, if you want, tell Congress to do its job. It's the only time I really ever agree with them. And you might not like the guy, but meanwhile, people are writing petitions and everything else. No, don't do that. Get out and vote the people out who are anti-crypto. If they're coming out and they're beating on Bitcoin and we're going to ban Bitcoin, vote them out, because Bitcoin is just the first one, the next one, and that's how it works with the government. So if they're ranking all over Bitcoin, they're coming for everything. So if they have something bad to say about Bitcoin and the energy, well, what about what? It's a whole different conversation. But who are they to sit there and talk about what is all that energy saved? Explain to me what we're going to do with it. Still costs money. Someone has to pay for it. The Bitcoiners are paying for the energy that they're using. Is there a better use of that? Should they pay and donate somewhere? The whole argument is ridiculous. So do what you need to do. Get out there and vote for the people you want in. Go ahead and get behind a campaign, knock on some doors. And that's how you have some influence, because you got to vote the bozos out, and the people who are anti-crypto, right, Jeff? I mean,
vote them
get them out of office. Get them out.
Get them out. They're in the way.
Brad Sherman's of the world. And
hey, did you see this? Hang on, I gotta put this up. It's a little comic relief for a split second.
All right, do that. What do you got? I need a little comic.
So this was actually posted about 2 hours ago by David Schwartz.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
I did see it. Yeah.
ABC's 50 most popular women on the web. Number 7 will blow your mind. So, hang on a second.
JB.
Let me open it. Make sure it opens properly here. Here we go.
It did blow my mind, but for the wrong reason.
So, number 1, Lady Gaga. 2, Britney Spears. 6, Justin Bieber. Number 7. What the?
Hey, it can happen. It blew your mind, right? I mean, that's crazy.
Mark Phillips, in the world?
Yeah, Mark Phillips said, so you're saying my big bag of Brad Sherman coin is worthless? Not only is it worthless, but it's a security.
The Brad Sherman coin. It's not just the Sherman coin, though. It's the Shermanator.
The Shermanator coin.
The Shermanator coin.
Yeah, so if Judge Torres concludes XRP as a security, Gensler and the SEC will sound like today's XRP holder. For 2 years, we've been saying to the crypto world that if XRP is a security, then every altcoin in existence, with the exception of a few, are also securities. And you just made the point I was talking about, which is they're coming after Bitcoin. People are like, well, Bitcoin is this and that. If they're coming after Bitcoin, it's just a matter of time. And why do they want to ban it? For the silliest reason ever. So anyway, SEC
Serious
refused.
question. Yeah, serious question. Is the Rosie Rios 2-day meeting with the Pope connected to the Vatican, ordering all Vatican entities to move all assets to Vatican Bank by 9:30?
I'm going to go with no, because that mandate happened prior to that, and there's a I don't really want to get into this one, but no, it has, in my opinion, Jeff, has nothing to do with it. It's a great little story. It's great
Everything to
optics.
do with the Federal Reserve. All right,
Yeah,
keep going.
it's nothing. So SEC, this is going to take up the whole show. We're never going to get through this. SEC refused to settle library. Jerry Kaufman
There were like
offered
2 or 3 of them. I didn't realize it was this long.
everything except registering today's LBC, which is their coin of security, offered to dissolve the library company and sell his assets at auction. The SEC even concluded that the majority of today's LBC purchasers are users. Conceded, right? But refused to settle. This is getting harder and harder for me to read. Ripple offered to settle before the lawsuit was filed and agreed to pay a fine and penalties related to sales in the early years, and with the SEC not agreeing to give clarity for today's XRP. In other words, Ripple would pay a substantial amount of money
and still live with the status quo. And
right.
that's spot on. That's probably the most important aspect of all of it as to why, any kind of settlement has to include clarity on today's XRP not being a security. And I think that's a major issue, because what we're seeing with the SEC, what we're seeing with Gary Gensler as he goes after library, is that he won't concede. They're not going to give in on these. And one of the things, Gary basically came out and said everything's a security if it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah, and but the SEC refused. Furthermore, acting as a temporary chairwoman of the SEC, oh man, Heron Lee discontinued the use of conditional settlement offers. In my opinion, that was a decision directed at hindering any potential settlement with Ripple and any other crypto platforms. Now that is interesting right there.
That's a really interesting statement, that if they're going to change, or they're going to change the standard process. So if they're going to discontinue the use of it's interesting too, no more conditional settlement. How that definitely has a major impact, not just on this outcome. And it could be, it'd be crazy, we get to the end of the day and somehow in the, a couple of years from now, Gary Gensler writes a book, kind of a tell-all. And, after, crypto's, boomed and, all that stuff. But all of a sudden, Gary Gensler has this tell-all book, and we find out that his hands have been tied, by existing law that's on the books. And, he's kind of operating under that. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. I lost me there for a second, but I was
it's gonna
like,
be a comedy. It's gonna be a comedy.
Yeah. So Deaton says, think about it. Why would you want to do away with a practice that helps facilitate settlements, payments? What's going on tonight? With the Ripple and library cases pending, the SEC filed the Wietse case, claiming that 9 tokens sold by these individuals are securities. Then comes the filing of the Dragon Chain case. CEO
after one after another. I mean, it's really outlandish. Think about the number of platforms, and we look at all these others that they're going after, Chip, whether it's a Dragon Chain or library or any of them. It comes down to Ripple. It's very, very clear. Based on what their intent is, it's very, very clear that XRP is not a security. It's been stated that by multiple entities, as well as both the domestic in the U.S. and international at the highest levels. But it's just we're kind of at this point right now. There has to be some sort of an outcome, and it seems like Gary Gensler, he's just so excited. He's just super happy to see the direction that things have gone in. It just seems to be so negative.
Yeah, I don't understand why somebody really would want to spend so much time to, yeah, to me, it's like, to let innovation flourish, loosely craft stuff around it. They're really not worried about protecting the investor, not worried about protecting us. The whole thing is just a complete ridiculous S show there, Jeff.
Okay, it
I don't
doesn't
like
like
that
our
book.
book.
Which book is that? This is
Oh,
the, I'm not sure which book. He might have been talking about a different book. Out of our book, Coining 203s in the house. Alex D's here. Hey, so Alex D vlog. So, guys, you guys have seen this. This is one of the most legendary things we've seen on the internet right here. This is from Johnny Lawrence. And Johnny Lawrence, you've seen all this, and a lot of people have stolen it, but Johnny Lawrence is the one that originated this, where you see, if you think about that, that's just really what the XRPL does, right? You
that's
take
it.
fiat to crypto to back to fiat,
And a
to,
gift.
fiat.
It's amazing. Amazing that you can capture the essence of it in a GIF.
Yeah, I mean, he's done all these amazing, animations. He has a brand new NFT coming out, and I will put this up right here.
Could you imagine? Could you do a GIF for Bitcoin?
First of all, Jeff, I didn't want to get into this, but we're gonna have to. We have to throw down on this right now. It's not GIF, it's GIF. Like the peanut butter, it's GIF. It's not GIF. People that say GIF, it's wrong. And if you want to go back to the guy that invented it, he said it's pronounced JIF. GIF.
Well, he spelled it wrong.
GIF. Doesn't matter. He invented it. You can say he said how it was pronounced, like the peanut butter. GIF. It's a GIF.
Even though it's, what does GIF stand for? Graphic something.
It doesn't matter. It's pronounced GIF. That's just saying.
Let's
throw it
see
on.
what,
All right, so anyway, I wanted to say that Johnny Lawrence will be our guest here on Saturday morning. Johnny will be here. He's got a new NFT project we're going to talk about, and this was that's a lot going on right there. That's a lot of community members,
just like the peanut butter.
That's a lot of community members. We are the XRP community. We are XRPC.
It's a soft G.
There it is right there. So anyway, yeah, so this was a good one. I actually like this one here. He said, so I tagged a bunch of people because of this giveaway. Then Jungle tagged myself with David Schwartz, Joel Katz, and then Jed McCaleb, the original OG over there at Ripple. And so Johnny Lawrence said, I'll take the McCaleb burger with a side of Steven chips, and don't forget the extra cat sub. I thought that was pretty clever.
You know why he decided to pronounce it as GIF?
I don't know why, but I just know it's pronounced that way.
It says here, Steve Wilt of CompuServe, when deciding on the pronunciation, said he deliberately chose to echo the American peanut butter brown GIF, and CompuServe employees would often say, choosy developers choose GIF, playing off all GIF's television commercials.
So now you know. It's exactly. I said it was like the peanut butter. There you go. It had something to do with it.
Huh. There you go.
How about that? We learned something new. Whether they care about it or not, I'm not sure, but there was something new to be learned. And if you want to come, where would you go for more useless trivia than on the chain? Right here. Right here, we have so much amazing stuff. Come on, Chef.
Jeff.
See, it's Jeff with a G. It's pronounced
Jeff with a G.
But G.
Funny enough, my name was supposed to have been spelled with a G. It was going to be GEOFF.
GEOF, yeah, Jeff. That's the other way to spell Jeff, and it's not pronounced Gaff.
Although most people would pronounce it that way.
Although they might. Gaff, hey Gaff. What's up, Gaff?
What's going on, Simon?
What's going on? You're Gaff. I think Jeff. I think I'm going to call you Gaff. I like Gaff better. Gaff has a nice ring to it. What's up, Gaff?
There's not many Gaffs. What's
up, Gaff? I like that a lot. I wanted to put this, Raoul Pal, he does that Real Vision. He's big time. He's a very knowledgeable fella. And Crypto Eddie tweeted this video out, but I want everybody to listen in here, and hopefully the volume works. Let's see what this
comes
does.
To us from Serkan Orbe, and the question is, what about XRP? Obviously, they're talking about Ripple. Any thoughts there, Raoul?
Yeah, so there's this weird narrative from the past about Ripple. The point being is, even if they have to settle a lawsuit and get a slap on the wrist, Ripple plays actually quite an important role. It's a money transmission network, and it does quite a good job of it. And it has deep connections with global governments around the world and has worked really hard on it. So there is a reason the chain is valued as highly as it is, and it's not from speculation, because actually, it got taken off a whole bunch of exchanges because of the lawsuit. It's actually because when I use my netcast law model, the amount of value that gets transacted on the chain is very high. It's being used. So I think if you lift the legal issue, probability is that the value of the chain increases significantly. And as the world moves towards central bank digital currencies, I think the XRP network is going to be somewhere at the center of all of that. So yeah, I don't rule it out. I know it's not flavor of the day for a lot of people. I think it's a big player, it's a real player, and it has its niche.
Dude, well said.
Well said. And
about
flavor of the day is peanut butter.
Jeff, by the way, and in case anyone's playing along at home. But Jeff, this is interesting because Raoul Pal is somebody.
Now Hef. The J is
there
silent.
you go. Yeah. So if you think about this, I mean, he's pretty massive in the space, and the reason he's saying it like that, I know it's not the flavor of the day. Translation. I'm speaking to all you Bitcoin maxis, ETH maxis, and every other maxi out there. Of course, he doesn't want to hear someone like Raoul Pal say, "Yeah, it's the flavor of the day." But I like he broke it down in real terms. He said exactly what it is, and he believes when the lawsuit is lifted, in other words, settled or win, it's going to become pretty significant, pretty massive. Because as you and I said, Jeff, back in December of 2020, we said the quickest way to clarity may be this lawsuit. And even though we're almost 2 years down the road, it still may be true because I don't see Congress doing much.
No, they've been dragging their feet, especially now with the sentiment of the White House talking about the negativity on Bitcoin and mining. That's a major impact right there, because as we know, Bitcoin is becoming synonymous with all crypto, because you kind of use Bitcoin like Kleenex or some of the others out there. You kind of just interchange them, and it's going to be difficult at this point with Congress as it stands right now. There'll be zero clarity coming through Congress. Post November, going into January of 23, I think we have some opportunity to see some legislation passing through both the House and the Senate. However, then it has to go to the White House, and the White House might not like that, and they might be very antagonistic against any legislation that comes out of the new Congress. What do you say?
Everything's antagonistic these days. It seems like there's so much pent up energy, and everyone's like on edge and frayed nerves. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just it's sort of it's the flavor of the day, Jeff. No, it's kind of exactly where we are right now in the world. I mean, there's so much disdain and anger, and everybody's upset. But not a lot of people are bringing solutions, and the ones that do, they're swept under a table. I just think we have to get past in the States the midterms, because I think that is going to be interesting to really see where the sentiment is and see where people's heads are and see what matters to people, because maybe it doesn't matter like we think it does. Maybe people just like signing petitions and putting cool things in their Twitter feed. I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see.
Well, yeah, most people don't like to actually do anything. They like to just people like what's easy, but at the same point though, there's some really important statements that were just made. One, we know that Ripple's a significant entity in this new technology, in this new economic technology. Raoul Pal is indicated that, others have indicated that. We know they're on the right track. We know what Ripple is doing is revolutionizing the way money moves, but they're able to do that only because of the XRPL. They don't necessarily need to use the XRP. They don't even need to necessarily use all the technology of the XRPL. However, the only game changer that really revolutionizes what they're doing is the on-demand liquidity, because other than that, you're just kind of streamlining messaging and you're not providing true settlement. But once you provide that on-demand liquidity, you're able to also provide the settlement of transaction within 3 to 5 seconds. That changes the flow of money, and that's where they're significant. The SEC is standing in the way of that right now. So the SEC has to get out of the way. The U.S. government as a whole
preach, Jeff.
is
yes,
they're also
angry.
They're also standing in the way. They're standing in the way of progress. So here's what's interesting. So if they're standing in the way of economic progress through this new economic technology that we're all talking about, but they're also standing in the way of progress because they're slowing down progress by artificially pushing people into electric vehicles. Let the market decide when electric vehicles are ripe.
Right.
But if our infrastructure can't support what they're trying to do. So we have a lot of irrational decisions being made. And one of the biggest ones is that they're not allowing true legislation and regulatory clarity to go through committee in Congress, but yet they want to rely on Mr. Enforcement, Jerry Gensler. They want him.
Jerry Gensler? Daddy G, Jerry Gensler.
Daddy Jerry Gensler.
Jerry, with J, Jeff G. I love it.
That wasn't mine, but someone else threw that up there. That was
Jerry Gensler.
Jerry Gensler.
You can call him anything you want. I mean, he's
there you go, Jerry.
Jerry. So look, we played that tweet not too long ago. David Schwartz wanted to be a comedian. He said, "Don't laugh. I quit my job and do it." So here's a couple of recent jokes that I queued up from David. He said, "Sire, the peasants are revolting." Yes, I know. That's why I don't let them in the castle. And that's kind of a pretty good statement for kind of what's going on right now, right? When you see the governor of California, who's got for some reason, it's summer in California. He's got a parka on and a hat. He's all dressed up because he probably has the air conditioning set to like 55. And he's telling everybody else that you're going to have to raise it. Sorry, peasants, you're going to have to go without. And this is like, and this is happening in Europe. It's happening across Europe. They're like, you're just going to have to just brace it for it. Not them. No. And then we have a brand new king, King Charles III, and somebody put some viral videos of him out, like when he was going to. We don't. But I'm just saying that we don't believe in kings. The UK, we don't. We got rid of that. That was the whole reason. That was the whole 1776. That was the whole revolt. We said, hell with this. We don't want to pay the kings. But anyway, he was signing some papers. He was like signaling to people, and there was something sitting there. Instead of him just picking it up and moving, he's like, a couple of times with this.
Is it a cat?
It was like a trinket or something on there. I don't know. It was looked like a ruler to me. And he was like, he couldn't just pick it up and move it. No, kings don't move stuff, dude. I mean, it's like that's why you don't let them in the castle. And if you think about it,
he was allergic to wood.
They're not in the castle. And here's another one right here. It says, a Higgs Boston walks into a church. Dorman says, "I'm sorry, we don't let Bostons in here." The particle replies, "Fine, but you can't have mass without me." Oh
God.
Son, I'm so lonely. I have an imaginary girlfriend. Dad, you can do better. Son, thanks, Dad. Dad, I was talking to your girlfriend. These are good jokes.
Yeah.
I like the one about the ghost.
The ghost, that was a good one.
Where the son says, Dad, we have ghosts. Yeah, our maid told us. He goes, son, pack your stuff. We're leaving. He goes, why, Dad? He goes, we don't have a maid. That's great stuff.
That was awesome.
Here's another one from David Schwartz. Waiter, want a box for your leftovers? Customer, no, but I'll wrestle you for them. Box.
Legendary was saying it's like they're doing this deliberately to cripple the country.
Yeah, weird, huh? Let's just crush it.
It's weird how they do that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they have that new plan that what you're gonna have to suffer to make it work, but don't worry about it.
Schwartz. Yeah, we're gonna have the Schwartz hour. Schwartz comedy hour.
David Schwartz. Hey, this isn't a surprise party. This is an intervention. Wait a minute, it's not a surprise party? What the hell? I thought it was something extremely fun. I thought we were gonna have a party. Wait, there's no party? Man,
No
so let's get
party.
into what we were going to talk about, which was the whole let me pull this up. Let me find it.
What were we on? We had something
XLS
planned.
20.
The XLS 20 that was delayed. Apparently they found bugs in it. Not real bugs, but like software bugs.
Yeah, and it was like literally a couple days away. But you know what? Wietse win. You can always count on him to bring the truth here. And this is a little tweet thread by him. He said, "This is an explainer on the recent findings that a simple flag, which is a setting on the minted NFTs, can be abused, causing NFT issuers to get all their XRP locked up due to actions of third parties." So
yeah, that
because of
doesn't
the
sound good.
no, because of the finding, I removed the yay vote on the XRPL Labs validator temporarily.
Now we know who's at fault.
No, Alloy Networks also removed it. So yeah, it's taken it out. Well, this is a good thing, but and Jeff, I just want to say this. People were flipping out about, Flare and they're delaying everything. There's a reason for it, because you don't want to release something where you find out there's a bug. You say, why did you catch the bug? Because you rushed to release it.
It's all fun and games until someone loses all their XRP.
Right. And someone really gets hurt. And it's like, well, you could have prevented this. But meanwhile, people are crying like schoolgirls, like, where's my Flare? And then how come it's taking so long? Well, listen, I mean, Flare could potentially be a game changer, change the world. It's that big. Started out like this, it's blossomed into a massive thing. He goes on to say that, so this is about the ISF trust line flag. It allows NFT issuers, which are the minters, to accept issued currencies, which are IOUs or tokens, for NFTs with the transfer fee. That means the issuer or the minter of an NFT would be paid a percentage when the NFT is traded, that's good, because you can build in that. You can build in that sort of a, what do you want to? What's that called? It's like almost like a commission. Like you're always going to have this ongoing, like 8-10%, whatever it's going to be, an ownership of it. So it can be traded multiple times, and you'll get that percentage every time that NFT is traded. But a percentage of whatever asset is used. Well, a percentage of whatever assets used to trade the NFT. Now imagine a minted NFT is sent or sold to John Doe, and then John Doe sells it, the Wietse coin, which is the issue token, to someone else. The original minter receives a percentage of the Wietse coin.
That's interesting. So that's the royalty.
The royalty is what I was trying to get at that. Thanks. But the XRP ledger requires the minter to have a trust line for that. A trust line for the Wietse coin, and it's great for the XRPL, requires that trust line because it means you cannot be spammed with a coin that you didn't want to receive in the first place, hence why you set up a trust line. This is where the ISF trust line flag comes in. If that flag is set on NFT as per the XLS 20 spec, then the trust line would be automatically created for the NFT issuer. However, the sale may happen without the issuer being aware, and then it would still lock up the account reserve, which would be 2 XRP. That can be totally abused. Once minted and sold NFT with the ISF trust line and transfer fee could then be sold back and forth between 2 or more accounts from the attacker, causing more and more trust lines to be created for random shitcoins issued by the attacker.
But that's how you get the Wietse coin.
Well, he's using that as an example.
Exactly. That's what.
So this goes against the idea of a trust line. It should never be created without the explicit consent to trust the issuer and the asset. Even a check cashed on a decentralized exchange trade made resulting in a trust line is an action you yourself execute on your account. With the ISF trust line, that isn't the case. So the community owes X token a big fat thank you for finding this and reporting it. And let's give a big shout out right there.
What does it mean?
A toolkit for XRPL. Yeah, so A tokenize.
Yeah, good job. Good job, X tokenize. And big thank you. Big shout out to him for finding it. And that's awesome.
Well, it means that support for the current implementation of XLS 20 may lose majority. It already has. I hope it will, because I feel the issue needs to be addressing. The flag must go, in my opinion. So
now, you see the difference here. Look at how we're seeing something rolling out on the XRPL, and you have this great technology. Now they vote to delay it, and the system works in this decentralized framework, so it works, and they postponed the rollout of this because they voted. But think about On the other side of the world with the Ethereum changes that are going on right now, not so easy,
No,
and
no,
also
not so
not so
easy.
transparent. And
Well, let's
here
go.
it's kind of out in the open. Let's have they'll discuss.
Jeff, let's go back to the original conversation. We talking about the SEC, right? If we start talking about the SEC, we start talking about the SEC, with the whole idea of securities and stuff. So here's something right here. Here's the XRPL, completely open source, right? And you got the community is tending to it. Community reported a bug, community implementation. So it's in the XRPL Foundation. So, I mean, there's so many things that are happening outside. Ripple is a technology company that creates software that banks can use to move, but they also have created other things like the liquidity hub and other items that address liquidity. And that's kind of a big deal. And all of this stuff is happening in use cases and different other stuff. And this is how it's supposed to work. Someone reports a bug, but what happens if this was released and let's say X Tokenized didn't report the bug, and then somebody got scammed back and forth, setting up all these two XRP, P trust lines, but not the attacker would make out, especially with any garbage tokens. So
And thank God for the bounties. Thank God for people are looking for the bugs, which is great. Again, that's a big differentiator with what goes on in the XRPL because we know that the XLS20 is going to be vital in the development in this space, whether it's NFTs or just growth within within the XRPL, in competition with Ethereum and the XRC20s and or the ERC20s and all that good stuff.
I love this. Sophie's always the first. She's like, "Time to go. Great show as always. Hit the like and subscribe." She's going to be the first one out every single time, before time. But she can see what's coming.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then Physical Digital, welcome. Said it did lose the majority. Ripple, it pulled the vote too. Then he continued, just posted a vid and tagged a bunch on Twitter. Thanks for doing this live update too. Physical Digital.
Yeah. Physical Digital. And the other thing too is, Alloy Networks. Yeah, it's done. But that's the way. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. The XLS20 non-fungible tokens V1_1 amendment loses the 80% yay votes. It will not activate 1 day from now. But right at the 11th hour, Jeff, they pulled it back in.
But this is the time to do it.
Really?
That's the time to do it. You find it, you vote, and you don't go live or whatever they're getting ready to do. So Jacob's World 2 minutes behind on the feed. But
I always feel like that's my life, Jeff. I'm always 2 minutes behind on the feed myself sometimes. But
well, how cool was it yesterday? Yesterday, Oz was 12 hours ahead.
Yeah, he was 12 hours ahead, and we did like almost an hour and 20-minute show or 25 minutes or something like that.
1 hour and 37 minutes.
Yeah, and I talked to Oz for another hour, so it's really awesome. So it says a shame for all eagerly awaiting the XLS20 to go live, but letting it go live would have been a bigger shame if it resulted in issuers, the minters,
that's right,
getting affected down the road. And imagine it blows up all at once.
Yeah, that would be horrible. Gosh. It would have been so negative. It just there would have been a lot of blowback, and it would have reverberated, throughout the crypto space. I think we would have heard a lot from the Bitcoin maxis, the Ethereum Foundation, especially as those guys are struggling to go to ETH 2.0. Still a lot of talk. Even though the Matic Polygon guys came out and had some interesting things to say over the changes that are going on with Ethereum right now. But the timing was perfect here. I think it was so key that they delayed, and looking forward to seeing what happens. Because you brought up Flare. Those guys, took so much flack, for the delay and the rollout of Songbird. And we've referenced that so many times. And they were 100% right. They can't rush their project just because people want their free token.
Exactly.
Which is, I mean, can you imagine, you're the CEO of a project and of a company, and you say, well, we have to follow through with rolling this out because we got a lot of people that want.
No, because XRP badass has been DMing me and he really wants his tokens. at XRP bat, and if there is one, I'm just making something up. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to single anybody out. I'm just saying the whole thing is silly if you think about it, right? So what does Wietse say? He says number one, fix it. Okay. Yeah. Let's fix this thing. All relevant. Number two, all the relevant operators update to new rippled version containing the fixed NFT amendment. Test and vote again for the fixed version of the amendment. Get majority, which is that 80% or over. 2-week amendment, go live, the counter restarts. Obviously not something to rush, but unlike previous times, it's now well established that the XLS20 had 80% plus support. So the good news is once they fix it, it's not like they're going to, are we going to get the support? They already have it, Jeff. So it's just a matter of getting it right.
I like that last statement too. This is not XLS20 goodbye. This is XLS20 see you later, which as soon as they have it fixed, they're going to try it again. And now they're going to be more, cognizant of potential bugs. And I'm sure, people are going to tear it down, tear it apart looking for those bugs. And hopefully the next roll around, there won't be a bug. And all of a sudden they'll say, hey, we're going live with XLS20 and everyone will celebrate and be happy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is great. I love to see stuff like this happen. Anytime you're working with devs or code, and you put it in a stage environment, everything looks good. You go ahead and commit it, and then the code goes live to production, and then you find a problem or something else broke. You fixed one thing, and this is what happens with code, and it's always horrible. I always feel bad for devs when this happens. Hey, this works, but then it broke something else.
Yep. I wanted to put this one up there because we're coming running out of time. And I saw Jacob's World posted this earlier on, but he said, why do we need a petition to ask politicians to initiate an investigation into Hinman corruption and conflict of interest law-breaking evidence? Why do we need a petition to do it? Really, they should want to do it, right? They should want to investigate. But I think right now, and this is the theme, is that you have a lot of politicians that really don't care. Not a priority.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not, right. Not a priority for them, and it should be. But again, a lot of it has to do with they've just completely lost touch with what's important. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. But Jeff, I wanted to let you know that this is
what's your position on ETH?
I mean, it's been 6 years. They keep delaying it. They said they're getting there. I don't know if it's going to be as successful as people think. It's not easy to do. This is what happens when you launch a project and it wasn't ready to go live. And this has been admitted to on video, where they said, Vitalik talking about it, saying, look, we had to get it out there. They got it out there. They made all this money, but then they were stuck with this colossal problem. Like, and now they've been taking 6 years to try to fix it. And it kind of plays into the whole thing. And everybody can say, a lot of devs left the project because they didn't agree with what happened. The fact that it went live. A lot of people think about this. Everybody bailed. You had one of the founders went to Polkadot. You had another founder went and everybody split. It was like somebody turned the lights on and the cockroaches just split.
At the same time, if they never rolled it out when they rolled it out, they might have never rolled it out.
Yeah, but I mean,
and it's been super successful regardless.
But it would have been a lot easier. Yeah, but it would have been a slight delay. Now it turned into 6 years. So
but it's to me, I look at that as a positive. Whatever happens with Ethereum happens with it, but it opens up the door for a lot of other companies like Matic, Polygon. They wouldn't have come into being because they would have said, hey, Ethereum's perfect, but they say Ethereum isn't perfect. We need a new solution to try to fix it, and they're going to build around it and on it to fix that. Flare wouldn't have a role. If Ethereum was perfect, people wouldn't be as likely to want to, go to another solution to say, hey, there's something that has less gas fees, something that's more efficient. So to me, it's a good thing. Hey, they rolled it out. It showed that people want what they have, or people want something like it. Hey, it's on them now. Might take them another 6 years, Chip. And in the meantime, we're going to be, living large.
Look at this, Jeff. This is our
400th podcast.
400th podcast. You guys are here to witness that with us. Our 400th. We actually have more videos on YouTube, but since we started doing it, we actually have an audio version of this, and you can anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether it's Google or Apple or Stitcher or Spotify, whatever, everywhere you can find. We are there. So sometimes you'd be like, oh, I don't feel like I just want to put something on in the car and I want to listen. So you guys can pull us up and you can listen to episodes right there. Go ahead and subscribe.
400.
but it's number 400 tonight. I had to double check it, and it is 400th episode tonight with all of you, the smartest and the brightest out there. So that's all we have tonight, Jeff. Do you have anything on the way out?
It was great. I just want to give a shout out and thoughts and prayers to everybody out there over 9/11. Today is 9/11, September 11th, 2022, and September 11th, 2001 was 21 years ago, and I can't believe it's that long ago. It seems like yesterday, but man, we'll never forget. And on that note, we'll never forget a lot of things that have transpired.
Right.
We got to remember, and we got to make sure we don't repeat. But that's relevant in a lot of different things that are going on here. And on a positive note here, we have the best and the brightest in all of crypto space right here with us. Appreciate that, Hussein. Congrats, chaps. Always a pleasure to have you on here as well. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. You guys are amazing. Jacob's World, the 400 Bitcoin giveaway on the 400th episode. That's awesome. So,
thank you very much. Appreciate that, Hussein. Very cool.
Yeah, but appreciate all you guys, and we will be back again this week. Chip.
Yeah, we'll be back Wednesday, and don't forget we have Johnny Lawrence coming up on Saturday.
Johnny Lawrence is on Saturday. That's right.
That'll be awesome.
That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be awesome, man. I'm so excited to get him on here. We tried to get him on here before, and he said he said it would be socially awkward potentially, and I said, don't worry, you're with two of the most socially awkward people on YouTube.
He said he wasn't going to come on until after our 400th episode.
No, he made that up, but I like it though. I like it. It works. Anyway, guys, listen, have a great week. We'll see you back here on Wednesday, same time. And from Chip and Jeff, we are out of here. See you on the next one. Chip and Jeff, ow! Wait, say that again, Jeff?
Crunchy peanut butter.
Jeff, crunchy peanut butter.
Jeff.
Crunchy peanut butter. Okay, Kev. See you. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.